municipal building and filing with the township clerk. If we could have roll call, please.
Councilman Kirsch? Councilman Cordilla?
Here.
Councilman Nogales?
Here.
Councilman Pedroso? President Ring.
Here. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We have minutes for approval.
I will move those minutes.
That's for the April 4th regular session.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then there's also minutes from the closed session on April 4th making their way around for approval. Moving on to Township Council reports, I'll start with Councilman Norgalis.
Thank you, Mr. President. April is Earth Month, when we should all consider what we can do in our personal lives to improve our environment. Earth Day is the annual event on April 22nd to demonstrate support for environmental protection. First held on April 22nd, 1970, and now includes a wide range of events coordinated globally by earthday.org. Earth Day was the brainchild of Senator Gaylord Nelson of Wisconsin. I will bet if you were in New Jersey on April 5th at 10:23 a.m., you will recall exactly where you were when the 4.8 earthquake shook our state. The epicenter was in Tewksbury. Sadly, one of the victims of the quake at my house was one of 4 ceremonial plates from my 1975 Bridgewater Heritage plate collection. Its 6-foot fall from the kitchen shelf did not end well for the plate. The Patriot Stadium opening baseball was that day, but it featured a strong aftershock minutes before the game at 6 o'clock. It was a very memorable day. April is Child Abuse Month, as the proclamation from our last meeting supported the many organizations that work on behalf of this endeavor. Among them is the Bridgewater Women's Club, which initiated and installed pinwheels in the municipal courtyard to display continued support for this important cause. 2 weeks ago, I reported that the lighting of the Crescent Moon display at the municipal building in support of the Muslim community would take place on Tuesday, April 9th, the day before the end of Ramadan. Shipping issues have again delayed the original arrival, so it will formally take place sometime later this year. The good news is that the display has finally arrived in Bridgewater. The master plan presentation, originally set for April 11th, has been moved to May 22nd. And lastly, the 2024 solar eclipse occurred on Monday, April 8th, 2024. Our state was not totally in the dark, but it was still quite a spectacle if you had those special glasses. The next total solar eclipse in New Jersey will be in 2079, so mark your calendar and save your glasses. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh, I'm sorry. There's one other thing I'd like to say. After our last council meeting, I received several calls from residents concerned that based upon the potential redevelopment of the site on Chimney Rock Road, which includes the yard waste site, that we would lose that facility. Let me be very clear. We will continue to have a yard waste site available to township residents somewhere on that property. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Cordilla.
My report is not going to be as fully detailed as Howard's report, but I would like to say it was my pleasure to attend opening day of BBI baseball last Saturday, Bridgewater baseball, and also during the past 2 weeks I attended the initial meeting for this year's community block grant, and I have about a half a dozen projects to be reviewed and make a recommendation for in about a week and a half. That's my report, Tim.
Thank you. Councilman Pedroso, are you ready for a report?
Just want to say good evening to everybody. Nice to see so many people here in the house. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I have a couple items. Councilman Kirsch unfortunately could not be here this evening due to a family conflict. This past Saturday, I joined several of my fellow council members for the Bridgewater Baseball Softball Opening Day festivities at Prince Rogers. I did have the opportunity to fill in for the mayor, and I did not come close to taking anyone out this year with the opening pitch, unlike last year with the mayor. Could use a little improvement, but everyone was safe this year. This coming Saturday is also the Bradley Gardens Baseball Opening Day. And then Councilman Norgalis mentioned about this being Earth Month. This Saturday, the township is hosting an Earth Day, Arbor Day event at Chimney Rock Park called Can You Dig It? From 2 to 4, and it's a rain or shine event, and everyone is welcome there. And then the only other thing I'd like to mention, just for public awareness, official notice has been posted, but due to quorum concerns for the May 16th council meeting, that has been canceled, and a new meeting rescheduled for May 23rd. Again, that's due to some quorum concerns. That's my report this evening. Anything from the administration?
I think I'll reserve my comments for the presentation portion, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So up next is swearing in. So I'll invite Chief Mitzak up.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the swearing in of Officer Michael Thompson. I'd like to thank Mayor Matthew Mensch, along with council members, Council President Tim Ring, Vice President Howard Nogales, Councilman Michael Kirsch, Councilman Alan Cardilla, and Councilman Felipe Pedroza for allowing the police department to swear in a new officer tonight. The mayor and council are strong supporters of the police department. I'm thrilled to announce the hiring of a highly skilled and experienced 16-year veteran police officer. As a long-serving officer, you bring with you a wealth of knowledge, expertise, and dedication to upholding the highest standards of public safety. In your new role, you will play a pivotal part in maintaining law and order within the Bridgewater community, ensuring the safety and security of our residents. Your extensive experience in law enforcement will be invaluable in leading and mentoring junior officers, providing guidance and support in complex situations. Additionally, your exceptional communication skills and problem-solving skills will aid in building strong relationships within the community by fostering trust and cooperation. A little background about Officer Thompson. He resides in Great Meadows, New Jersey, where he currently resides with his wife Zoe and 4 children, Michael, Axel, Levi, and Amelia. As stated earlier, Officer Thompson has 16 years of police experience where he worked with the Lebanon Township Police Department. Officer Thompson graduated from the Somerset County Police Academy in 2007. Prior to this, Officer Thompson earned his Associates of Arts degree in Criminal Justice from Roudan Valley Community College and his bachelor's degree in Sociology with a minor in Criminal Justice from Fairleigh Dickinson University. Officer Thompson enjoys spending time with his family, riding motorcycles, fixing cars, hunting, and fishing. He's a genuine outdoorsman. While conducting his background, we learned from numerous contacts that Officer Thompson is a team player and is always willing to lend a helping hand. Officer Thompson, I thank you for becoming a part of the Bridgewater PD family. Your goals while working here are to do your best every day for the Bridgewater community and your fellow officers, and to go home to your loved ones every night. I now invite you up with your family to be sworn in as a Bridgewater police officer.
So to that point, just one very important thing. The young lady with the camera, she tells you to turn right, just listen. That's my word of encouragement, word of advice today. All right. She's telling her son's where. We good, Suzanne? Yeah. All right. I state your name.
I, Michael Thompson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear that
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States state. Under the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully. Impartially and justly. Perform all the duties. Of Bridgewater Township Police Officer. According to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll just.
Okay. Good evening, council.
No. We're just going to give it a second, let everyone that's out, so we're not competing over the movement. Okay. All right. Okay. So continuing on, up next is presentations. We actually have a couple this evening. I'll start with PSE&G and turn it over to Administrator Pappas first.
Thank you, Mr. Ring. The township for quite some time now has been coordinating in an improved fashion all the time the work that PSE&G has been undertaking in the township. They have a rather extensive replacement of gas mains throughout the community. And as you all know, the township has a very aggressive road improvement plan that began several years ago. It was critical for us to coordinate with them and inform them what our plans were to obviously coordinate their work with our work. The last thing we would want is to reconstruct a road and then the next month or next year them come through with digging it up and replacing a gas main. So it's a little bit of a bumpy start, but that has improved, and we have had a regular, for the most part, communication with them. The two individuals that I think from our side have taken the lead on this is Wells Winiger, the Deputy Township Administrator, and Bill Burr, our Township Engineer. Others have been involved from engineering, but those two individuals in particular have been the main points of contact. Wells couldn't be here tonight. Bill's here, Mr. Genova's here, Department Director, and wanted certainly Mr. Burr to say a few words. Mr. Genova may have comments as well, but would like one or both of them to speak and then to turn it to PSE&G.
Not used to you at that table, Bill. You're always over there.
They threw me off a little
Yeah.
bit here. All good. Well, thank you, everybody, for having us tonight. Just a quick introduction, I guess. When this program, and I know this program has been years in the planning on the gas company's end, when it first came on our radar was around the end of 2021, give or take. Most of 2022 really continued with the planning, the permitting with the township. We had regular meetings about this program, and really what it consisted of was, we're going to hear the exact number tonight, but I want to say it was about 20 to 21 miles worth of gas main replacement on our municipal roadways. Construction on this project started, I believe, around the early part of last year, the spring of 2023, and really has been ongoing continuously to this date. I would estimate probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the work is complete. We'll hear more of that in a minute. But Mr. Pappas is exactly right. We've had bi-weekly calls and meetings with the gas company, with various departments from the township administration, OCR, engineering, police, and the school as well, to try to coordinate on some of the traffic control issues, detours, coordinate on the municipal road improvement program that's going on at the same time as the gas work. Gas company just finished a large project in town that really was several months in the doing along Foothill Road and a portion of North Bridge Street. That work is complete now. Work just started last week on the next phase of the project, which is on Church Road and Meadow Road, Church and Meadow. We thought at this point it would be a good time for the gas company to come in, give us an update on the program, answer any questions as we round the corner, and hopefully finish this project off soon. So that's kind of my take, unless anybody has any questions of Tom or I, or if Tom wants to say anything. I think the floor is...
If I can just make one additional comment, the bi-weekly meetings that Mr. Burr mentioned have been rather mostly consistent. We have, I know, heard from a few members of the public, and I know Councilman Pedroso at a meeting a few months ago spoke of the concerns that he had about the changes that sometimes take place to detours. And so he participated in a meeting with myself and two members of our police department from the Traffic Safety Bureau, and it was a very helpful discussion, certainly for me, and I think for him. What he conveyed and what they conveyed to us was, I think, very helpful. We've conveyed that to PSE&G, thought about as conditions change, and sometimes what they communicate to us on, I think it's Friday, for the following week, sometimes change. Their field conditions sometimes will cause them to have to adjust their plan, and I'm hoping to hear from them tonight, because we have spoken to them a few weeks ago, how they may be able to give us more up-to-date information as it changes during the ensuing week, so then we can try to convey that information to the public. So it's one of the things that I'd asked them a few weeks ago to be able to cover here tonight. I'm sure, I hope that they will, and I'm sure they have other comments as well. So take it away.
Good evening, Council. Thank you, Mr. Pappas. I appreciate it. My name is Mike Coyle. I'm the Public Affairs Manager at PSE&G. We have a few folks here tonight. PSE&G never travels light when we come to events. We have Andrea Almeida, who's our project manager, Jean Marie Ryder, who is one of our outreach representatives, and Mike Gallagher, who's the construction manager, and somewhere is Jason Pastorino, somewhere behind me. He's also with our outreach group. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit tonight about the projects that we have completed and we've undertaken in the past, what we're working on now, and the grids that we're going to look to work in the future in town, all to upgrade the gas system within the township as part of our gas system modernization program. A program is approved by the BPU, and you know, the objective to minimize and eliminate the methane emissions into the atmosphere and to increase the reliability and capacity of our system throughout our territory. So let me turn it over to Andrea to take you through part of the presentation.
Good afternoon. So thanks, Mike, and thank you, the council, for permitting us to present today. So I just want to go over high-level overview of what the program is about. Then we'll cover the work that we have completed in Bridgewater, a progress report of everything that we have left to do, and then afterwards we'll cover communication and then outreach. So starting with a high-level overview of the program. So our program is called Gas System Modernization Program, GSMP for short. We are in GSMP 2.5 at this point, which is the third phase of our program. That is a 2024-2025 project. And what the system is about is we consist of upgrading our old infrastructure, our cast iron main that is, it's been in place for over 70 to 90 years. Any bare steel that is unprotected. And the benefits will reduce leaks, reduce greenhouse emissions, cost savings for the residents, as with the high pressure main, now they can use their high efficiency appliances, reducing their cost. We also enhance safety and reliability to prevent future gas leaks. And with this new program, we also relocating the meters from the inside of the house to outside of the house, which is a safety item because, if something happens, it's not inside a homeowner's, and also it gives access to emergency services right away without having to enter the residency. So this program works by doing a study on all the infrastructure that we have in New Jersey, taking into account the age of the main, also the amount of leaks that we have had through the years. So it goes on a system, is monitored, and then it's put on a hazard index. So all the streets are repaired in order of the higher the hazard, the more priority that they get. Here in Bridgewater, we have 19.2 miles of gas main replacement that has been identified to be replaced as a priority to upgrade the infrastructure to minimize leaks. So far, we have completed 14.1 miles of main and replaced 606 services. And the work remaining that we have is 5.1 miles and 323 services. As it was mentioned, we are working or coordinating with the town for restoration, but we have restored in June of 2021, Greenway, Mountain Top Road, Mine Road, and Cream Road, that it were ahead of paving streets that were done before all the work that the township had planned in that year. And then for the summer of 2024, we're currently coordinating with the township to pave the rest of our grids, 403 and 404. And I know the numbers don't mean much to the council, but I will break them down on our next slides, what covers everything. But we're looking to make sure that the roads are restored properly. We're coordinating to make sure that we can give as much back, trading credits, and coordinating with the projects that you already have planned to make sure that we can do curb-to-curb roads instead of just half a road. So that's our main priority right now, and that is 2024. Now, the current work that we are doing now, that we started on April, that will be final restoration will be on the spring of 2025. And the reason behind that is because as we complete the work, we need to give it a 60-day settlement period, and this work will be completed later into the September, October months. So by the time that it meets the 60-day settlement period, our paving season is over, because we don't like to pave when it's too cold outside, just because the temperatures do not agree with, the final restoration. Sometimes it just doesn't hold as well. So I'm gonna start with the ahead of paving. Like Bill mentioned, this being on the planning. So when we approached the township with all the grids that we had that they were identified as needed to be replaced, we coordinated with them the projects that they already had plans. So this is a combination of 7 streets across all our maps or grids that we have completed, and we put this a priority. So this was already completed, and I know that these haven't had final restoration yet. I know some of them have, but whatever is left over, we're looking, to restore properly once, we get the green light.
Sorry to cut you off. Quick
Excuse me one
question.
second. Sergeant Edwards, we have to keep the back door open since the meeting's open to the public. Sorry.
The presentation that's before us on the TV screen, do we have a copy of it? Do we have a digital version that we have?
No, but I was going to ask them if they could provide that.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergeant. Sorry.
That's okay. And then we move on to phase 1. So this was our first grid. This was completed. It was 4.4 miles of main install and approximately 233 service. This affecting 18 streets. Our phase 2 was 4.8 miles and approximate 212 services. This is still in progress. We have 1 service left. We are working with the township and our outreach group to try to get an appointment to finalize the final service. After this, what is left over is tie-ins and abandonment of our old main.
Excuse me, are the red colored roads the roads in question here?
Everything that is bolded in the map are the streets in question.
Not the red, the other?
No, so it will be like if you see here, this is the bolded street, so it will be this, the red is bolded, and then some of this black line.
We don't see your pointer, unfortunately.
I'm
so.
sorry, I was
Sorry.
told that you have it in front of your
We have the screen, but we don't see your cursor.
Oh, you guys don't see my mouse, okay.
We see the mouse.
Now, how about now?
Now we do.
See it?
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay, so it will be this blue line over here. It will be all the red ones that are thick, and this black ones right here. So everything that is really bolded in the map
What's the difference in the colors?
is the size of the main.
Gotcha.
And Andrea, that's the Foothill Road corridor.
Correct. This is the Foothill Road corridor. Our phase 3 was PL 404. We have 2.6 miles, approximate 118 services, and this is also in progress. We have 2 services left. Just like in the last one, we are working with our outreach team and the township just to try to get appointments and be able to complete this grid. And then going to our current grid. So this is the grid that we started in April. It's approximate 5.1 miles of main and 273 services. 13 streets will be affected by this. Our estimated end day pending weather was September of 2024. As everybody knows, weather hasn't been the best. So we are working as fast and as safe as we can to make sure we understand that it's taxing on the residents with the traffic patterns and the road closures, and even just the noise and seeing the construction all around. But we are, I want to say, 80% completed with all the work that we had in Bridgewater. After PL 406 is completed, we do not have any more work that has been identified in GSMP 2.5 to Bridgewater. That program runs into 2025. Obviously, is, like I said, it's a hazard index that keeps getting monitored every year. So if a road all of a sudden gets a lot more leaks or meets the criteria, we will approach the township and let them know, this is the road that, has been identified. Is there any possibility that we can come back? But we will coordinate that accordingly. But as of now,
Go ahead.
If I may,
of course.
talk about some of the streets and the number of buildings that are impacted. Do I understand then that when you finish putting the main in the street, that it is indeed connected to the house? Or is the whole thing? I'm trying to figure out.
So I can run you through the process. So first, we install our new main next to our old main. So that will be in the middle of the street. Then afterward, once we can gas our main, we'll connect the new pipe into our system. So now there's gas running through it. What we do is we either transfer the services, which is like the service pipe is good. We don't need to do anything to it. So we just need to connect it to our new main. And in other instances, what we have to do is replace the service, right? So in that case, we have two choices. Sometimes we use our old service main, and we just use it as a sleeve, and we just shut it through it to the house in order to minimize the disturbance to the property. And in some other cases, we can't do that, so we need to actually install a new trench into the service. But once we're completed, the service to the house, the service is completely new, is safe to use, there's nothing pending on their end.
That includes a new outside meter as opposed to the inside.
That is correct.
They can do, on average, 3 to 4 houses a day.
Yeah, and for all the services, we depend on appointments. So all the appointments are, previous to, with a previous appointment, and sometimes what we call stragglers is, residents are on vacation, or sometimes their work schedule doesn't, permit us from being there, so sometimes it takes a little bit longer to complete the services, just because we need the access. Now, our communication strategy, like it was mentioned, we have some bumpy roads, but we definitely take all the feedback that we get from the township, the residents. We do have a dedicated hotline to the project. So everything that we hear back, we try to implement it and make our communication process better and more efficient. We have always been a company that values their customers, and we want to make sure that they get a good impression of PSNG. So with that in mind, we have a bi-weekly meeting with the township and school officials. We have a daily morning meeting with PD to discuss the condensed detour or to minimize the impact to the local residents. We have a daily text change where we have our contractor, the township, the school officials, and the project team to update of our work location and any changes. As the township administrator mentioned, sometimes we have to do field changes, sometimes it's due to weather, or sometimes it's due that once we open the service or the spot where we're gonna be working on, the conditions that we had in our head is not what we find, so we need to pivot and trying to, either address it right there or just move to, the next service. Sometimes residents, have emergencies or they cannot be at home, so they cancel the appointment. So at that point, we need to move to the next appointment, which it was not planned and it wasn't part of our 2-week look ahead or our weekly look ahead. We also have weekly phone and email notifications to the affected residents. So every Friday, Jean Marie, she sends parole call, which is just telling them, "Hey, we're gonna be working here, or you're gonna be affected by traffic. Because we understand that sometimes even when we are not working on the street where the residents are affected or installing main or services there, they do get affected because of the traffic patterns. So they might not get the notifications, but we make sure that they get the emails and the phone calls. We have a weekly email. It's a look ahead, includes crew locations, and it goes through the municipality, the school transportation, and the BA Bridgewater Raritan Regional School District. The contractor is there, and the outreach team is there. And then we have in-person meetings to the town request, and we also have a PSNG website. So we heard some of the feedback that the residents and the township have about, they want more up-to-date, something that they can see where we are. So now that is being updated weekly, and so the persons can go in the PSNG website, and it will tell us where we're currently working. And Jean Marie will cover that in the next slides. Now we have the outreach sample materials.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. My name is Jean Marie Ryder. I'm the public affairs specialist for this project, which means I send all the notifications to impacted residents and businesses along the route. Sorry, we're adjusting over here. One thing I did want to note as well on this is that our door hanger and our mailed notices that go to the residents along the route do not have the roads listed on there. They have to go to the website, or they can call our hotline. That's really just logistically, in the event that we had to move crews, it's harder to get out those actual physical notices. So we include the roads where we'll be located on the phone and the email notifications that go out at the end of the week. So I do have some of those materials here with me today. If you wanted to touch them, look at them, see what is actually getting hung on those residents' doors. This slide actually shows them on here. These are some of the updates that we provide. So the construction door hanger, like I said, I have that here with me. And it details in step-by-step what the residents can expect to see. So it talks about the trenches, when they install the new pipes, and then when they come back for services and restoration. And again, I have a bunch, I can pass them around. We do the same process when we go to pave on these roads. Yeah, here, there's a whole bunch in there you could take with you. Obviously, different materials that walk through the paving process, but they look the same. There's a letter in there as well, so that's exactly what a resident on our newest map will receive. We've been staggering them at the township's request, so at this point, both Meadow Road and Church Road receive those notices, and we'll continue proceeding with those as we move along the map. Some other things listed on here are our FAQ documents. The orange thing that you see right here is the door hanger that goes on a resident's door handle when we're ready to schedule their service appointment. It'll have a phone number to one of our inspectors, and that's what they call in order to make their service appointment that we were referring to earlier. The restoration postcard is what we send out when we're done with work in the area, but we have some time between when we come back to reseed or to restore their driveways. I also have some what we call hotline cards here, so if anyone's interested in a stack of them, if you're ever talking to a resident, you can feel free to hand them out. They have our contact information on them, and that includes the hotline as well as our email. The hotline is manned by me. I get back to them within 1 business day, as well as the email address as well. So I've spoken to many Bridgewater residents. They know my name, some of them, so. This is a copy of our website. As Andrea alluded to, we are updating this weekly. It's basically a list of our streets, and it's color coordinated, red as completed, green as not started yet, blue as active construction. So we'll leave it as blue. Once we start installing the main, it will stay blue until we've completed all the services on that road, and then it'll turn to red. So residents can go on there and see whether or not we're going to be coming back to their road. And I believe that concludes our presentation.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Are the employees who will actually enter the house to take out the old meter, are they bonded? The
So Howard, the contractors working the road, it's PSE&G
so everyone-
PSE&G
so-
employees who actually go in the house.
Yeah, so for all the services, the workers that go inside the residence house are all PS&G employees. They're not the contractor. The contractor only does the main and up to the leg, up to the sidewalk, but all the meters, everything else is handled by us because we handle our own infrastructure. So the meters is by us.
Residents' standpoint, unless they have gone through the pre-certification process, they should be very leery about letting somebody in who says, hey, I'm with PSE&G, I'm here to work on your meter.
Oh, yes, that is correct. Like, they all have badges. I don't have my badge with me, but they all have badges. They should have a PSNG badge. And if you have any questions, you can give us a call to the hotline and just say, there is someone at my door. They're saying there is PSNG. Can you just please confirm? And we will confirm. Like, if you feel any type, I know there's a lot of scams going around. So yes, please do check badges, ask names, ask questions. We have no problem with that. Yeah, no.
It's a very visual operation too. It won't be single individuals.
I can speak from my own personal experience last year. Contractor did all the work in the street. Contractor, so they, and just like they said, they put the main in, and then a couple weeks later, after I guess it's tested and energized per se, or pressurized, they started making appointments. So we knew that, hey, tomorrow PSE&G is coming. The contractor dug up at the curb and dug up right next to our front door, and then left they actually put flex pipe, I guess it is, through my old feed and left it sticking up out of the ground. And then two PSE&G guys showed up in a van in uniform, photo IDs, and actually did the work from right next to the front door to the basement. So that was my experience. Now, I will share with you I appreciate what you say about the settlement. I've gotten some feedback and I've experienced it myself, not only on my street, but other streets. One of the things I think where there is an opportunity is the aggregate that they use when they do the blacktop. We know it's not finished blacktop when they're filling that hole after digging it. A lot of stone. And over that 6 months, sometimes over the winter, you get stone all over the road. And then it creates challenges for kids, bicycles, walking, and just even cars, and the stones getting in tires and stuff. I don't know if there's anything that can be done as far as if you're letting it sit over the winter at some point, whether it's a street sweeper or something. But that is one comment I've heard from some residents is the stone aggregate.
Yes, and we had some feedback from the township. So at that point, what we do is we call our contractor, and they come and sweep the road, and they maintain the trenches. So anytime that the township has pointed out, hey, X road needs some maintenance, please do something about it, we call the contractor. Now, the only challenge that we're having with that is the AOP streets, because they were completed last year and it was under a different contractor. I don't have my contractor in the area. So sometimes it takes me a day or so to get them. So I really appreciate everyone's patience.
Could I ask Mr. Burr and Mr. Genova, is the turnaround time that's been described here been your experience from any calls your department has received?
As far as sweeping the roads, I would say by and large, the gas company's response has been very timely. The issue, as the President raised, is because many of these trenches were repaired temporarily, it's creating more and more aggregate because it's base course pavement that has larger aggregate. That continues to break off, and I think the frequency of sweepings probably needs to be increased. But as issues are reported to Tom and I, we relay them to the gas company. They're usually very responsive getting the sweeping done, but it's an ongoing discussion, ongoing response. Until, frankly, the final restoration is complete, which on many of these roads is going to be approaching rather soon.
You look like you have a question, Councilman.
Just a comment. I certainly hope so.
We do know it's been quite a while, and you know, we want to finish it as quickly as you want us to finish it, maybe even more quickly than that. So we're trying to get it done to,
This is a state mandated project, isn't it?
It is. It's approved by the NJ Board of Public Utilities, and we're doing it. Elizabethtown Gas is doing it. All the other utilities are doing it as well. So the sooner we can get in, the better weather we have, the sooner we can get completed, and we can get the roads, you know, final pavement and make it nicer for everybody.
And when does New Jersey want to eliminate gas?
Too soon.
You had a question?
I do. First of all, thank you for being here and for providing more information for us and to be here to answer our questions. Appreciate that.